Hello, this is 5 on 20 News. My name is Richard Aguirre, and we're coming to you live from the studio in downtown Tucson. It's Thursday, October 12th. Let's talk local headlines. A group of Arizona firefighters will travel to California to battle 22 wildfires that have killed at least 23 people and destroyed about 3,500 homes and businesses. The team of 150 firefighters will bring 55 fire engines to protect structures in the Santa Rosa and Napa Valley, according to a press release on Wednesday. The fires broke out Wednesday and continued to spread due to high winds in the region, eventually burning 170,000 acres or so. Firefighters have had trouble containing the blaze because of the winds and remains mostly uncontained. In addition to those killed, 300 people are still missing since Sunday, and 200,000 people were evacuated from their homes. About 8,000 firefighters are working to fight the fires alongside helicopters and aircraft. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA, is also providing federal disaster assistance to California. Governor Jerry Brown issued a state of emergency in 8 counties, and Donald Trump declared a major disaster on Wednesday. Although, to put it in perspective, Donald Trump used the word disaster to describe the Electoral College, the Yankees before George Steinbrenner took over, and the new version of The Apprentice, so the words kind of lost its power. Next, Representative Paul Gosar is being sued for blocking an Arizona woman on Facebook. Jamie Morgaine filed the suit against Gosar months ago after being blocked by Gosar, who reinstated her access on Wednesday. Morgaine said that she has no plans to drop the suit because she wants to preserve others' First Amendment rights. She says that Gosar is not the only politician limiting access to their social media feed, such as the president, who's also being sued for blocking people on Twitter. The times are changing. The case hinges on whether the judge finds the public meeting laws apply to social media feeds. Earlier this year, White House officials said that the president's Twitter feed should be considered official statement. So this argument might play into the case. A federal judge in Washington, D.C. recently ruled that a local official's Facebook account was a public forum under the First Amendment. If the Arizona judges find the same, then Gosar could be forced to unblock everyone unless they pose some kind of a security concern. In response, Gosar wrote on Twitter that Morgaine should just delete her account. A University of Arizona professor has discovered a way to stop or slow the effects of rattlesnake bites. Dr. Vance Nielsen, a professor at the University of College and Medicine, uses a carbon monoxide-based treatment that slows down the venom for up to an hour. Nielsen says that this would give the snake bite victim time to get to the hospital. The treatment not only works on rattlesnake bites, but also 3 dozen other different types of venom in snakes. Another upside to the treatment is that it doesn't need to be refrigerated, similar to an EpiPen, and that it's compact and light enough to fit in a backpack. Testing is still in the early stages, and it will likely be years before the treatment is available to the public. So make sure you wait a little bit before you start taunting rattlesnakes. The controversial right-wing agitator Milo will make 2 stops in Arizona as part of his upcoming tour called Troll Academy. Milo is a former editor for Breitbart News, a figure known for purposely being offensive, a tactic he claims shows the hypocrisy of the left. Yiannopoulos will speak at a secret location in Scottsdale on October 27th and at the Free Speech Arizona Symposium at Rawhide Wild Horse Pass in Chandler on October 28th. Tickets for the Scottsdale events are being sold for nearly $200 in exchange for a private hangout and a photo opportunity with the speaker. The Free Speech Symposium costs $30 for general admission, which is still $30 too much. Troll Academy is Milo's first appearance since September, when Milo was faced with mass protest on the UC Berkeley campus. A riot broke out at the University of California, Berkeley last year when Milo appeared, which resulted in $100,000 worth of damages. This was alongside another spate of violence and an appearance in Seattle where a man was shot. Sounds like a good time? Well, if you weren't convinced yet, let's check out this terrible promotional video. No? Just Google that. Just Google that, and you can watch that video later. We're gonna move on to national and international news. Dude couldn't get no video. It's okay. There are people over here that I'm talking to. An inspector general found that Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin did not violate any laws with his use of government-funded planes. According to a report released on Wednesday, Mnuchin has flown on military aircraft 7 times since becoming secretary, racking up a bill of over $800,000 along the way. Mnuchin also plans to use the military plane again this month, according to the report. Despite the huge expense, OIG counsel Rich Aguirre wrote that, "I see no violation of the law in the request and the uses." But critics are concerned that the standard of proof needed according to the 2011 White House legal memo was much more than what Mnuchin provided. The investigation was started after Mnuchin took the plane to Kentucky with his wife, Louise Linton, where they were later seen watching the solar eclipse last month. Mnuchin and his wife were also turned down for another flight request, which they sought to use for their honeymoon. At the time, his wife made the ill-advised choice of proving that they didn't need the free flights by tagging the designer brands she was wearing in her Instagram posts. Shockingly, this didn't hush the criticism that the pair are out-of-touch elitists. The report states that Mnuchin did not pay the government back for his wife's airfare. The report also says that Mnuchin once took a flight to Miami, which costs around $40,000, where a commercial flight would have costed $700 per person. The Inspector General pointed out that all 8 flights were trips classified as White House support missions. To qualify for such a mission, the president must have specifically directed that the travel occur by personally requesting the assignment. It was found that the president requested that Mnuchin witness the solar eclipse to make sure that the sun was not being stolen by ISIS. Donald Trump slam. Donald Trump signed an executive order earlier today that would weaken the Affordable Care Act by expanding access to cheaper and less comprehensive insurance. Experts predict that these cheaper plans will result in health plans being more expensive for sick people. When signing today's executive order, the president said that this will cost the United States government virtually nothing, and people will get great health care, 2 grades. The order allows businesses to buy so-called association health plans, which let small business groups get together and buy the type of coverage that big employers provide. Sounds good on the surface, but experts say that consumers will have skimpier benefits and will not have the consumer protections set by the ACA. While the costs will be lower, the coverage will be worse. At the same time, because association health plans are cheaper, healthy people are more likely to enroll. This makes the regulated, more expensive health plans more expensive. Before the executive order, small businesses were required to buy health insurance through highly regulated exchanges. These regulations forced employers to cover such benefits as prescription drug coverage and maternity care. Association health plans don't have these types of regulations, and the federal government doesn't have enough resources to police insurers. This could open the door to more fraud within the insurance system. But with the new changes, it's difficult to know how it will change the system. While Trump said that the move was a step forward for the United States healthcare system, critics accused the president of sabotaging the ACA, more commonly known as Obamacare. Trump has made repealing the ACA a major part of his platform, calling the law a disaster. Republicans have also tried 3 times to repeal the law, but fell short of votes each time. With centrist Republicans like John McCain and Lisa Murkowski pulling their support, in addition to the new order, Trump has also cut the sign-up period for ACA insurance by half and shut down the ACA website for maintenance. Trump has also threatened to end subsidies paid to insurance companies for providing coverage to low-income people. These subsidies are essentially what keeps the system afloat, so if they were taken away, the ACA wouldn't last long. Next month, Trump will institute yet another rule requiring that those who sign up for the ACA agree that the law is the biggest disaster of all time and that President Obama is a huge, very big loser. That's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to check that box on the website. The rival Palestinian groups Fatah and Hamas reached a power-sharing deal over the Gaza Strip this morning. Hamas agreed to hand over control of Gaza to the Fatah-led Palestinian Authority, who have long been rivals of the Hamas. The deal is just an early step in a longer process that will lay out exactly how the 2 parties will share power. Since Hamas was elected in 2007, Fatah has essentially blocked the region from resources and jobs, causing Gaza's unemployment rate to skyrocket and the area to lack electricity. Earlier this year, Hamas said that Gaza only had enough electricity to last a few more months, which may have led to the decision to strike a deal. Hamas is labeled a terrorist organization by the United States, who refuses to acknowledge Palestine and deal with the Hamas government. But with the new agreement, this could potentially change. According to the deal, the Palestinian authorities will resume all governing abilities in Gaza no later than December 1st of this year. Past attempts at reconciliation have fallen apart quickly, and it remains to be seen whether this one will work out in the long term. If it does, then this will be the first time that the West Bank and Gaza will be reunited in 10 years. Palestinian media reports that the two sides agreed to form a committee to figure out what to do with the Hamas bureaucrats and who will be out of a job when the Palestinian Authority takes over control. The committee will also seek to merge police officers in Gaza with the Palestinian security services. However, one issue still unaddressed is what to do with the plentiful supply of rockets and weapons by the military wing of Hamas. PA leader Mohammed Abbas said that his government would not take over Gaza until Hamas is disarmed. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu wrote on Facebook that any deal must make Hamas disarm and, quote, end its war to destroy Israel. The United States says that it wants the PA to take over Gaza again, but officials didn't offer much in terms of support. United States officials say that as long as Palestinians continue to fight amongst each other, then everything will be fine. The United States says that it is withdrawing from UNESCO because of the organization's alleged anti-Israel bias. UNESCO is the United Nations' main cultural and educational agency, which provides aid to developing countries around the world. The United States encompasses about 30% of the agency's funding, so this will certainly hurt. But the Trump administration says that it will stay on as a non-member observer state in order to contribute United States views, perspectives, and expertise. The agency has been at odds with the United States since 2011, when it voted overwhelmingly to offer full membership to a state of Palestine. Hours after that vote, the United States decided to cut its payments to UNESCO while maintaining its membership. This was due to the United States law that required leaving UNESCO if Palestine was recognized. President Obama tried to change the rule and resume payments, but Congress wouldn't comply at the time. The United States actually left UNESCO another time in 1984 when the Reagan administration accused the agency of cozying up to the Soviet Union. However, the United States rejoined under President George W. Bush as of this year. The United States government owes the agency about $550 million, according to the State Department. Israel will likely also leave, with the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu instructing his foreign ministry to prepare for Israel to leave UNESCO with the United States. The move could complicate efforts in Afghanistan, since one of UNESCO's biggest operations is the literacy program in the country. If funds are cut, then it's likely that the agency will need to be able to project these soft power programs that help the long-term war effort. But thinking into the future, which we don't appear to do anymore. Oh man, Jim, that's it. This is 5 on 20 News. My name is Rich Aguirre. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, share all our videos, and feel free to send us an email at info@creativetucson.org if you'd like to get involved. Thank you for watching, and stay creative, Tucson.